So I'd like to turn it over to Heidi for our program this morning. I guess we had an original program, and last minute there was a cancellation, so I consulted Amy, and Amy has shared wonderful experience she had with Heidi, so I reached out to her, and she very quickly responded. So I was so grateful that it was that you were willing to come and share mindfulness in the business place, or workplace, and maybe we'll walk out of here with a little more zen. But I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I would like to start with inviting anybody whose chair is facing that way to please turn your chair around. You will be a lot more comfortable if your neck isn't cranked. And what I will be sharing with you this morning is about awareness, mindful awareness. How do we stay present with our lives? And in particular, how do we bring this practice of awareness into our workplaces to increase the vitality and health of our own selves, the workplace, and our staff? So just a little bit about me. I have been a small business person in our community for about 30 years. And for the last well over 20 years, my store was Emerald City Laundry. So you might be familiar with the laundromat that's up the hill. It's no longer mine. But, and prior to that, I have a background in nursing. And all through this time, I've been very involved in meditation and mindfulness as an avenue towards well-being. I found that through this practice of mindfulness, that it can be infused into the workplace, not as some weird woo-woo spiritual practice, but as a very practical, on-the-ground way of living our lives. So, who here has ever meditated? Okay, well over half, you know. Who has heard of mindfulness? All right, so let's just do a quick popcorn. Just throw out, when you think of mindfulness, what is it? You can't get this wrong. I promise, you can't get it wrong. So just say, what is it?
Awareness.
Awareness.
Centered.
Relaxation.
Centered.
Centered.
Presence.
Presence.
Focus.
Focus.
Calm.
Openness.
What?
Openness.
Openness. Yeah. So these are all centered, balanced, calm, presence, openness. Don't you want that? Right? I mean, these are components of well-being that sometimes feel far away, sometimes feel really difficult to get to, because we live in the world. We have busy lives. We have things that we go to from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And stress is normal, stress is natural, and my hunch is you've all experienced times of increased stress and times of lower stress, up and down and up and down and up and down. This is just living human life. So as I got involved in my own practice of cultivating meditation and mindful awareness, I started seeing that how it was affecting me was having direct connection and effect in my store, and how it affected my staff, and then by extension how it was affecting our customers. And my wheels started turning about that it is so tangible that how we are personally is inextricably connected to how those in our lives are. And so we don't only cultivate practices of well-being for ourselves, to hold them, this is just for me. When we start seeing that my well-being is completely wrapped up in your well-being, and your well-being affects my well-being, especially, certainly in our families, certainly in our intimate relationships, but when we expand that into the workplace, it's extraordinary what can happen when managing through the window of mindfulness, really works, really changes the culture. So I want to offer you a couple of definitions of mindfulness and just really easy ways to think about it. Primarily, mindfulness is an opportunity to become present. How do we become present? You know, we hear language like that all the time, but what is it really? It is the awareness of what is happening internally in your mind, in your heart, in your body. So this internal awareness of this is how it is right now. I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm busy, I can't see straight. To what is happening outside of me, to what's happening in our homes, what's happening in our workplaces, and not wishing it were different. Now, I realize that sounds ridiculous, that when we have difficult situations, we may wish it's different. But from the perspective of mindfulness, what we want to do is simply know how things are. Oh, it's like this right now. Okay. And once we start to remove our filters and actually let go of the grip of how we want it to be, but actually see how things are. Oh, right now the staff is frightened. The staff is frustrated. I am frustrated. I am excited. And then we actually can work with things. So mindfulness is the awareness of whatever is happening right now and being willing to be in that. That's one way to define mindfulness. The other, one of my very favorite ways to talk about what is this actually, is choice. Choice. When you know what is happening, you can make a skillful, wise choice about how to respond. Right? You know what I'm talking about? That when you get clear about, oh, here's what's going on, what we do is we transform reactivity into responsiveness. I know you all know the difference between reactivity and responsiveness, right? We've all had the experience of getting triggered, maybe getting angry, maybe getting frustrated, maybe getting excited. Oh my God, this great thing is happening. And we take an action, we either say something or we do something that later has some negative consequences. I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that. We all know about think before you speak, think before you act. But we function on automatic all the time. Mindful awareness undoes this default automatic way of responding. Now that doesn't mean that things that we just do know how to do. It's not that we don't do them, but the trickier things that we are doing, the things that need a little more thought, that we want to be careful about, we pause. And in that pause is the space to say, how do I really want to be this? It's a way of starting to see a little more clearly, to actually say, oh, what am I thinking right now? What am I thinking? Or why am I talking? You know, sometimes we just do da-da-da-da-da. We do that all the time. So there's choice. Mindful awareness is about how do I want to be in any given situation. This awareness of what am I thinking is critical, because oftentimes we have thought after thought after thought. This is just normal, this is just what happens, and we're not connected to that. Have you ever seen the bumper sticker that says, don't believe everything you think? Right. Wouldn't that be amazing if we didn't? If we actually paused and thought, what was that thought? Is that actually true? Can we question our own automatic beliefs? So when we start becoming aware, we start seeing how our thoughts work, our own thought patterns. And right in there, we can say, maybe that doesn't lead to more well-being. Maybe it leads to more stress. So one of the primary functions of mindful awareness and meditation, and we'll take you through meditation in a minute, is to be able to ask the question, Does whatever I'm doing, thinking, saying, does this increase my well-being or not? Or does this increase my stress? So when you find that you have patterns and habits that actually don't support your well-being, the work is to stop doing it, which is easier said than done, isn't it? Because we are so habitual. And when we see that there's something that we're doing that really supports us, keep doing it. And that can be hard too, because we are so habitual. So I want to share that as I started seeing this in myself and started bringing in ways of looking at customer service and staff development in my own store, it started changing the culture of the store from the ground up. By me, as an example, here's an example. When the store would get busy, and if any of you have ever been in the laundromat, sometimes it could be a place that could be really busy, or you have your own experiences of standing in a long line somewhere. Standing in line is hard, isn't it? It's one of the things that can really turn people's stress and anxiety up. It's also hard to be a customer service person looking at a long line, because there's that sense of I better hurry up and I better get it done quicker. So I used to say to my staff, when you are busy, slow down. When you are busy, slow down. This is really not how we think, is it? And I would say to them, and you feel the anxiety go up because you have a long line, and I'm encouraging you to do one thing at a time. But the first thing I want you to do, and I want you to all do this with me right now, is feel your bottom sitting in the chair, or feel your feet on the ground, or if you have a hand on the table, notice the temperature. I'm noticing right now my hand is on the table up here. You put some of your awareness into your body. You can't pay as much attention to what I'm saying to you right now, because I'm asking you to deliberately shift your attention into your body. What that does is take you out of your thinking mind a little bit. And those of you who are meditators, you know what I'm talking about. When you shift out of the thinking mind that's going, oh my God, there's this big long line and I've got 15 things that I have to do in the next 10 minutes, but you shift into your body, what happens is the anxiety immediately starts to come down a little bit. And I don't know if you can feel that right now as you shift some of your awareness into your body. Whatever you were thinking about is probably a little bit slower, or you're not thinking about it right now. And the reason for that is the brain does not advance two storylines at once. Even though we think we can multitask, that is a myth. How many times you've been on the phone and been on the computer at the same time and you mess something up? Or you don't do it all the way, or you forget about something. That is because we're not wired that way. Mindful awareness strengthens the neural pathways in the brain towards steadiness, towards balance, and the ability to concentrate. When we do one thing at a time, we get a lot more done. So when I said to my staff, when you are busy, slow down, do one task at a time. And then they would say to me, oh my God, I got so much more done when I did that. So I encourage you to try that. Are there any questions? Okay, you want to give this a whirl? Yeah. You want to try a meditation? So I will offer you instructions, and if the instructions will include closing your eyes, but if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, don't. Just allow a soft, gentle gaze downward. Know that nobody's looking at you, because we're all doing this together. But if somebody is looking at you, that's all right, they're going to get a hit. They're just going to, they're just going to see that you are turning your awareness inwards. So let's begin. Now, you can meditate standing up. You can meditate sitting down. You can meditate walking. You can meditate lying down. So I'm going to close my eyes as I offer you this guidance. And let's begin by simply noticing sound. Just let your hearing expand. The sound of my voice, sounds in the room. And now notice the sense of your body sitting just as you are, beginning with noticing your feet in your shoes, touching the floor. You just notice feet. And then coming up the legs a bit, maybe noticing the bends of the knees, how the legs are touching the chair, the backs of your legs, and the bottom of your body. Perhaps your back is touching the chair. But just becoming aware of the posture of sitting. There's nothing special to do, just become aware of sitting. Take a breath, don't forget to breathe. You might feel how your spine rises out of your low back, all the way up, the back of the neck to the top of your head. And not holding this in a tight way, but just noticing this is the body sitting. And now coming into an awareness of breathing. Simply breathe and know you're breathing. There's nothing special to do here except breathe. Maybe you feel your breath in your belly, the way the belly expands and contracts each time you take an inhale and then an exhale. Maybe you feel your breath in the chest as the lungs inflate. Sometimes people feel their breath right where the air goes in and out of the nostrils. So wherever you feel your breath the most, see if you can let your mind be right in that place and explore it a little bit. Feeling the inhale, and then the exhale, and then the mind wanders. Totally natural. When you know your mind is somewhere else and maybe not even paying attention to what I'm saying, just come back. You know you're sitting in the chair in this room and breathing. And we'll be quiet for a short time. See if you can let the mind stay right where you feel your breath the most. And if you don't sense your breath, just sense your feet, whichever works for you. Knowing that any time of your day, you can always pause for a breath. Just come back. Anytime into the body and into the breath. It only takes one breath to come back. Now as you're ready, open your eyes and look around. As far as the light goes, notice the light. Notice the sounds again. Notice that you're in this room. How'd that go? What did you notice? Anybody? Want to share?
We used to make fun of stuff like this, now I enjoy it.
Isn't that interesting? Thank you, Jenny. It's so true. I used to make fun of stuff like this, now I enjoy it. So what's the resistance? Right? We used to make fun of, oh, that's just what woo-woo, or, you know, like, where are you going? But there's so much science behind what's going on in our bodies and in our brains. And we can talk about, obviously we don't have time to do that today, but the neuroscience behind what is happening in the brain when we intentionally pause and feel what's going on is extraordinary. The way it is showing that doing this strengthens the neural pathways towards well-being. And it does. It really does. And we don't need all of the fancy science that we have. All you have to do is try it out on yourself and know you feel a little better. We don't have to have all the explanations. So I want to leave you with a very short practice that you can bring in any time. This is called the STOP practice. The acronym is STOP. It says exactly what it is. S is stop. Just like exactly what I just had you do. T, take a breath or tune in. Oh, what's going on? O, open, observe. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, joy is here. Or I'm really annoyed. This is what annoyance feels like. And P, proceed. Or park it. Wait, you're not ready to proceed. So, stop. Stop. Take a breath and tune in. O, open and observe. P, when you're ready, proceed. And you can do that in one breath cycle. On the inhale, stop, take a breath. On the exhale, oh, open, proceed. So this is not magic, except it is. It really transforms our capacity to deal with difficulty. It really transforms reactivity into responsiveness, into skillful action. That's what we're looking for. So if you'd like to know more about what I'm doing, I offer these programs in organizations. You can get in touch with me. But thank you very much for your attention.
Heidi, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, going into the holidays, it's going to be, as you go to see family and the frenzy of the holiday season kind of comes about. I think it's good to think about stopping and taking a breath and really enjoying the opportunity you have around you with your friends and family. In appreciation for presenting today, Heidi, we made a donation on your behalf to the Wheelchair Foundation.
Wow, thank you very
So
much.
thank you very much for speaking today, and
Thank you. That's very
appreciate it.